Hello once again, and thank you very much for joining me today, Monday afternoon. I can see lots of you already on there. For those that you don't know me, I'll just introduce myself. My name's Simon Williamson, and I'm here from Avogo Ink Designs. If you don't know already, you can like and subscribe as well to the channel, and then that way you'll be kept informed of any notifications or important announcements that are upcoming. Definitely worth doing that one. There's some announcements coming in soon, some new products, but I can't say anything else than that. But if you subscribe to the Facebook page as well, you'll be kept informed of that. Well, it's nice to see so many people on. We've got too many to read today. We've got Phil Baggs, Roxy Lee, David, Janet, Joe Driver, and it's scrolled up. Susan, hello. I'm sure there was other people on as well. I'm sorry if I've missed anybody there. But let's get started. So the first card for today is I'm going to be using the Farmyard collection. And I brought this bright little card together. And this is going to be using the corner punch that's just launched as well, just to highlight that card and bring a little bit more depth to it. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is there's background for the actual card. So let me just get the stamping platform up. I've got a nice piece of watercolour card. And just put that into place. And we've got our lovely scenery background that comes in a massive A5 stamp. So let's put that on there. Give that a good push down to make sure it's all going to pick up. And move that card out of the way so it don't get in the... And let's give this a good ink in now so we get all that detail. So Roxy Lee says, I got the dino background well on offer on this week, it's fab. It's so detailed, isn't it, and versatile. I love this one as well, this farmyard background, it's very sunny. Give that a good push down. And because it's watercoloured card, I want to make sure I've got all that texture in there. So you can see it just catches some areas better than others. So we're just going to go in again for another ink. Give that a good push down, make sure we get it into that textured card surface. That's perfect, that one. And while I've got our stamping platform out, I'm also going to actually just stamp the actual characters we're going to be using in a bit. So, bring a little scrap of card. We've got our lovely sheep. And we've got its friend, its sidekick that's flying through the air almost. We'll pick both of those up. And we'll do the same again. I'll just give them a good ink in, make sure they're well stamped onto his card. Just do that one a little bit more. I'll take those off. I'll just finally stamp in this little corner bit here some flowers as well. I might as well do all the stamping in one go. And there we go. Let's take those out. Smooth this under the counter out the way. But Susan, one of the Avogo stencils on offer too. There's some really good offers. I think there's also some reductions on the price of the Farmyard set, so it might be worth having a look at that later if you haven't already got them. So I'm just going to bring in my watercolours now. We're just going to get some colour onto these two images. So, like we've done before, we're just going to give a bit of water onto this so it absorbs a little bit faster. I always tackle the green bits first. And then we can use our brush, just put some of that lovely colours down. You can be as detailed as you want or as simple as you want on this. Change to a different green. Makes a slightly darker one up for up here. Take some of that into those bushes. You don't have to be too fussy with this as well. So it's such a detailed stamp. Just let the detail come out on its own, really. Just add some of that darker green down there. And we'll just take some of that onto those last two hills. So darken it up a little bit. And put some more detail into these plough marks. I'm going to wipe my brush off and we're going to go in now to the sky. Get some of that nice blue. Just drag that across. Make it a nice blue sky look. Don't want too much pigment on that. I just want it to be nice and bright. Let's get a little bit of an orange sun going on there. Get some of the rays in there. I think I'm happy with that, so I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to move on to our two sheep now. So these are so easy to colour in. You only need a little bit of black. You need to really water it down. Got like a washy grey kind of colour. And we're going to use the grey to pick out some marks in the actual coat. Just to break up that white area. I'm going to use the darker for its nose. Make this one a little bit darker, look. I hope it's not the black sheep of the family. And then finally on this one, is well, this bit of grass on its mouth that it's chewing. And then we'll just put a little bit of green onto our flowers. Nice orange centres. That's it, all our watercolour is done for this now. Now, I'll give it a quick blast off with a heat gun just to make sure that they're all dry. So Roxley says, you take this off a second. They're on £15 a set on off. That's a fantastic price, isn't it? Because they've got the dies as well. Really good price as well for Christmas presents if you've got any crafty friends out there. And then Roxley also says, what card are you using for the background? I've got it's some watercolour card. I don't think I've got the actual folder here. I would say it's near a 300 GSM. It's quite sturdy. Let's dry these off a second. There we go. And we're going to die cut our little characters out. Just get our dies that go with them. And they're so easy to line up, these as well. Great for kids as well if you want to get them a good start-off set. And then we'll put that one around there. A little bit more tape to hold these in place. get some different tape. This is the most unsticky tape I've ever bought. There we go. So let's pop those through and that'll cut our characters and the flowers out in one go. Yes, Susan, it is watercolour card. It's quite a fine texture as well. It's not too coarse, but I like it. So it doesn't warp as well when it gets too wet. Here we go. Let's get our characters out. That's one sheep. I'll not count them, it might send us to sleep. That's our other one. And we just need them flowers now to pop out. Oh, that tape. Gone from being not sticky to very sticky. There you go. That's our components. We can put them up there out the way. And then for his main bit here, I'm going to actually use the actual cutter for this bit. So let's have a look how wide this is. So I need to do this about 4 inches, I think I did on mine. Let me just check that for measurement. Yeah, 4. So I'm going to just chop this down where I want the edge to be. And we'll turn it around that way. I'm going to hold it up to the 4 so we can make a nice panel that's 4 inches. And then I'm going to decide which area where we want this scene. So I'm going to cut a line here to start it off, okay? Let's just chop that bit off. That's our starting line. And then we're going to cut 1.5 inch strips. That's one. That's 2. I need a third one. Really good, this board as well, so it's really easy to see. I'm going to discard that bit, we don't need that for this bit. We've got our scenery into 3 little bits, we've got our characters, and we've got our flowers now. And ahead of time, what I've done is I've just took a 10th-fold card, and I've just put a piece of green paper on the front, and I've used the, I call it the corner chomper, just to take off the 2 corners opposite diagonal. So we're going to keep some square and some rounded. You can see that? And that just gives a bit more of interest to his actual card. So on this bit now, we're going to focus on this bottom bit here. And we need to stencil some detail on. So I've got the grass stencil that's from the Farmyard Stencils. I'm going to put that onto our base layer. I'm going to put a piece of paper under that so I don't get ink on the mat. And I brought like a dark green. This is the emerald colour. So it's like an emeraldy kind of colour. And we're just going to hold that across the bottom of his card. And we're just going to drag that down so we can get that lovely grass on the base of that card. And you could build this up if you want to. I just want to keep it one level at the moment though, so I'm just going for one colour. Make sure that's well covered. It's just to give a little bit of ground for the animal. So you'll see when I take this off now, it just gives a little bit more depth to the base of that card. So move that out of the way. Okay, so now we need to think about a sentiment that we're going to be putting on. So let's get our stamping platform back up. Just hold that in place there. And I've brought the sentiment from the Farmyard collection as well, Sending You Love. And I think we need to put that about there. I've made this card so there's a bit of wiggle room anyway, so just pick that up. Move it up a little bit for you. I'm just going to get my VersaFine black again. Give that a good push down. Do that one more time. And there we go, we've got our sentiment now already. I'll just pop that out of the way. Right, so now we need to make our 3 panels. So I've already cut some darker colour green. It's just a tad bigger than these. It's about a 1/4 of an inch bigger than the overall size. You see, it's just got a nice border around them. But to make it up until they can see it a bit better. To make it a little bit more interesting, I'm going to kind of mimic the shape of the card. So I'm going to round this corner and that corner, and then that way it'll carry the theme through the card. So we can cut all the green layers in one. We'll just make sure that they're all, I only need 3 of them. They're all the same way up as the textured. And we use that R10. The same for this one. Hold them all together. That's those. And then we're going to do the same with our images. So we're going to do the top corner and this corner. I love this little tool, I've got to say. I've had some great fun with it this week. Get rid of those bits. And let's get these stuck onto the mounts for them. I'm just going to use a tape runner for that. It's a little bit faster. It'll just give a nice kind of green edge into it that goes with that shape. So that's one. Second one. That third one on there. And let's get some foam pads onto all these to give it a bit of a height. Put more on if you want to, but I think 2 is substantial enough for this. And then just make sure that your scenery is in the right place that you want it. So I think I'm gonna have mine that way, look. You could easily mix it up, it's up to you. Let's start with the outer ones first, and this will help you with your spacing. I'm gonna put my first one on. It's kind of matching the kind of border all the way around the edge. And I'm going to just do the same with this one. Let's put that over there. A good push down. And that way your middle one's easy to locate where it needs to go. Just got to make sure the gap left and right's more equal. There you go. And then we've got our little friendly sheep and our flowers now just to finish this card off. Let's get a few more pads. So this one needs to be on the grass, doesn't it, because it's eating it. Let's pop that one there. I'm going to put a pad either side of the sheep, and then that way I can stick it across 2 of our detailed panels. It's like it's jumping across. Phil says, Simon, I use mine on the card corner so they know where to open it. That's a good idea. So it just helps them know which side. No, I like that. It's good. And then we just put our flowers on. And there we go. That's our first card. Make them as out. So you can see on there, it's a really nice way of using them corner punchers just to alter the shape of the card. And it's easy to get that theme going all the way through. So I hope you enjoyed that one. I don't think I've missed any questions, but if I have, just put QQ and I'll come back to them. What we're going to do now is we're going to play a video of some more inspiration from the Farmyard collection, and I'm going to set up for the next demonstration, which is a little bit different for you, and I hope you like it. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes. See you soon. Bye-bye. and welcome back, and thanks for your lovely comments. I can see you like that demonstration. So the next one I've got for you is a little bit different. It's actually going to be using one of the Craft Academy stamps. I believe this is on sale at the moment as well, but it's the, what's it called, You're Awesome one. It's the one with all the individual flowers and leaves. It was a bit glossy, that. Can you see that? Just put it there, we go. It's got that massive sentiment as well, hey, you're awesome. So it's a really good, versatile stamp set, and I've been having great fun with this one. And this is the card that I came up with, which I think is really different for me as well. Goes with my shirt today as well, look. But it's just a little bit, it's just a bit more modern, isn't it? It's a little bit different. It's a really good way of doing a floating frame. So it's kind of all these raised images. You can see some real depth on that if I just do that. So it just takes the sentiment back and brings the actual colourful images forward. So let's show you how we make this then. So I started off by just altering my card blank, just with the corner rounders again. I've already created a matten layer. And I need to get these corners exactly the same as this now. So I'll bring in the corner puncher again. I'm going to use the R10 on this one. And just round all these off. And it's just a piece of blue cardstock I had this one. So you could easily use whatever you've got in your stash. And the same with the black layer. There we go. So we've got all our 3 layers now cut. Move that out of the way. I'm just going to mount this blue onto this black, just to make it a little bit thicker for when we do his actual stamping in a second. But it is quite a thin card, this. Let's use a bit of tape pen. It grabs. I'll also get a little bit of wet glue just around there. And let's make sure that's in our layer properly. There you go. Give that a good push down. And I like how this card graduates light to dark, so I'm actually going to use the darker part for the sentiment on this. So let me just move my card blank over there out of the way so I don't dirty it. The stamping platform up. Now, as I'm going to be embossing this, I'm going to give it a good rub with the anti-static bag, just so it doesn't stick to anywhere we don't want. Give that a good rub. Now let's bring that big sentiment out now. I'm going to put that, I'm going to put a little bit higher actually. Let's have that about there, I think. I want it really prominent on this card, so let's put it there. I'm going to use my embossing ink pad. I use the tinted one, so that you can actually see where the actual stamp's pressed. Give that a good press down. Yeah, you're right, Roxily. It's really versatile. You could do it with any, really. But even do it with little dinosaurs. I just want to give that another ink in. Really want to make sure that sentiment's got enough ink on there for the embossing powder. And my pad's a little bit older, so I want to make sure I get that. Give that magnet just up a little bit. Okay, I think we've got enough on there. I can see the imagery on there. So let's move on to this bit. So I'll just get a piece of paper. I'm going to use the Eyes Ink White embossing powder, so I find this gives a really crisp look when it's embossed. I'm just going to shake that all over the sentiment. Don't worry about how much you put on because you hardly use any, and it'll all go back in the jar. I'm just going to tilt that off. Give that a good shake. Just bang it both ways. Now, so any loose bits like here, you can just brush them off with your finger, and you know they're not going to ruin your design. So let's put that to one side. I'm going to put the loose powder back in its tub because